Warrior, Season 1, Episode 1.
Can you believe we didn't like this when we first saw it?
I think I know why.
Why?
Because we're used to watching white stream shows. This is
Right.
directed and
It's
created
it's
by.
just so not white stream.
It's so diverse. It's
It's
amazing.
it's much better. The
So
diversity.
most shows we've watched have been disappointing.
It was weird. Like, okay, so let's start now. So we see, and the stage is set, so we know this is San Francisco, way back in the 1800s,
Yes.
right? And so the Chinese are migrating in great numbers because they're working on the rail, on everything that they came for, because China was plagued by disease, etc. And like same reason why the Irish went
That's
there.
right. And so this is the story about
This
those
is the
two.
story about the Chinese and the Irish immigrants, and the how the Irish went on to become the rulers, even though they're the English. Anyway, so we see Ah Sahm,
Yeah.
played by Andrew Koji, who is Japanese British.
Right.
And the good thing about this, and I think we should state that we have an in-depth conversation about this on Radio Fly, and the link is in the caption below. And so we talk about all of this in depth. So we're just talking about the episode here. I remember I was just watching it alone when we first started watching Warrior on the recommendation of my sister-in-law who lives in San Francisco, your sister. And so you were bustling about getting tea or just getting, I remember, and I started watching, I thought, I don't really get this. Why is it trying to be so black? Why is it trying to be so black cool, and what is the same old thing? We're still going to show the white people as, we know they're horrible. We know they're just, they're not, that racism is it's not what they do, it's just who they are. So we see Ah Sahm coming off the boat. Already we know he's different. He doesn't have that hairstyle of the Han. I don't know. But it's a certain hairstyle of a certain region.
Yeah, he walks different. He stands different. He's got a beard.
Yes, right. And so we already see something in his eyes. And at first I thought, oh, this is just cockiness, This is just swagger. This is just going to be not. This is all going to be all swagger, all that dramatic way. So through this episode, and then we get introduced to all the main characters quite nicely, all very ensemble.
But the cockiness, I think, once we realized that this was written for Bruce Lee, then it changed. It was like,
absolutely,
okay, this is how Bruce Lee would have played the
because
part.
Bruce Lee started writing this part for him,
Right.
which eventually the studios stole from him and made into the David Carradine or Keith Carradine star Kung Fu, non-Chinese anyone.
Yeah.
But anyway, going back to this episode, so we're being introduced to all the main characters.
Yeah.
We get introduced. I love the filming of this.
Beautiful.
Because the cinematography absolutely shows you who is who, the good, the bad.
Yeah.
Like everyone who is good is just filmed in this they're illuminated. Yeah. It's luminous light over all of them, regardless of race. So let's go back to Ah Sahm. And we have this scene where twice now I have said something when I'm watching that scene when Ah Sahm is coming towards immigration and all the Chinese people and the blatant racism of the Americans who are the immigration and what they're doing. But then they do something, and Ah Sahm, now we see that, yes, Ah Sahm is the hero. Yeah. He will come and he leaps to someone's defense.
He's the main guy.
He's the main guy. Yeah. And this is where, right from the get-go, it's not like kept as some sort of big reveal. We know he speaks English.
Yeah.
How or why, I guess we'll leave it to everyone to find out themselves. It's readily it's already explained in the first episode. But people are looking at this like, and it's now marking him.
Yeah.
This he speaks fluent English. And he's speaking it with, according to the white ear, the American ear, with their accent. Yeah. So the Irish immigration American guy goes, "You speak American."
Yes.
And twice now I've gone, "Excuse me, American?" That's how Americans feel.
Yeah.
That they speak American.
Yeah.
They're speaking,
the language is American.
The language is American. So. Like, we don't say we speak Australian. It's a joke to say when we say we speak Australian in Australia, it's the jargon. Not we speak English in Australia, we speak English in Fiji. So that's what we have so far. And now we're being introduced to all the ones. So we get introduced to the white ones. Who's the first one?
So the first we see the mayor again being shaved by his caddy, the
Valet,
slave.
personal slave. Slave, valet, same thing, same letters.
I mean, and that's to show the power he has over this person. The guy is shaving him with a cutthroat. So that's a scene of complete control by a white person.
Absolutely. Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's an excellent point, darling, because I've always thought, what does it take? You have to have absolute trust in the person shaving you with a cutthroat razor to know that they're not going to cut your throat.
Yeah.
So that is control. That is power.
That's power.
Oof. Fuck.
Sean, so you know this guy is a bigwig.
You know, they've used it to great effect in a James Bond movie, a Daniel Craig one. The one that they went to Macau, and it's Miss Moneypenny comes and shaves him.
Yeah.
And and it's all very sexy. And I've commented to you before, like, what is this bullshit that it's like, I would not have anyone touch me with anything, especially if you're a spy. Like, fuck no. But that shows control. Yeah. Like, if you try to kill me, I will kill you first before this razor gets to my. Anyway, so moving on with this.
Yeah. So and then we see Penny.
Yeah.
Penny is the mayor's wife. She's your. How would you describe her?
I have described her in our in-depth conversation about Warrior as the white women want to be. Yeah. So she's the white woman fantasy. She's lovely. She's so compassionate. She sees everyone as equal. She knows her privilege, but she's sacrificing. She lives a privileged life, but as we come to find out, she is sacrificing for the betterment of her family. Right, yeah. She is, she will put herself in harm's way to save other people. She is the white woman want to be. Yeah. No such woman exists like this as in whitedom. No. I've seen them all. Seen them all. They all have ulterior motives. I've had most experience. Anyway, let's move on.
Enter Buckley.
Buckley.
Buckley is an interesting character. He's got a limp. You'll find out why.
The one with the handicap, the disabled character on this is. Should we say that he has power? We won't say. So that's Buckley. Yeah.
So he's a very important character in this. So.
But you're forgetting how they started the white people montage of introducing them. It's not a montage. It's all wonderfully played out, beautifully scenes. And we must say, because we say this in our full conversation, each frame in Warrior is art.
Painting.
It is a painting.
You've described it as
a photograph.
You're right. It's just unbelievable.
It's perfection. The lighting, the framing.
Yeah, once I saw it, now I can't unsee it. Every frame. You're absolutely right.
Well, hence beautiful. Why we are talking on top of your illustration, darling. Because every single frame in Warrior is incredible. And the showrunner is Jonathan Tropper, Justin Lin, with Shannon Lee.
Yeah.
Shannon Lee, the daughter. Bruce Lee's daughter. Like, oh my God, that means he was real? What?
Yeah, I know. When we see his name.
I know. Oh, we go nuts. At the opening credits are something to behold. But again, we talk about this in our conversation. Let's move on.
We forgot about Lee.
Well, we can't forget about Lee.
Lee is one of my favorite characters.
And he is the white man.
Yeah.
White men think they are.
Yes.
Describe him.
He's kind.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Well, for starters, he's a cop.
He's a cop.
And so we already know. And I'm going to do a deep dive on the cops and where police started. So I've done a deep dive on that. Yeah. And so we already know, well, he's a cop.
But he's the good cop.
He's the good cop. Yeah. The one good cop in the world.
Yeah, that's right.
I shouldn't say that. There are lots of good cops. But the whole system, the institution of being a police person is very much a British Guard thing. We protect the royals at all costs. It's got nothing to do with protecting the citizens. So that deep dive coming up. But let's move on. So, as you said, Lee.
Yeah, one of my favorite characters.
One of mine too. Down. He's just a wonderful.
The building of his character is incredible. Like at first he's all clean shaved and clean cut, everything just
and he's
well
handsome,
dressed.
so he's one of the eye candies for people wanting that kind of thing. But what they've done is created the fantasy white woman and white man. That's because this is hope in this world we live in. Yeah. They represent hope, not the actual immigrants, the Chinese people, whatever, because they represent the struggle and what they have to overcome. But these people are already living the life, so they represent hope. That this means that they still hope, that they're still nice people.
They represent the white allies.
Yeah, they do. And don't we wish we all had white allies like this? They exist, sure, but they all come with some sort of ulterior motive. Now that we've got all that out of the way, let's go to the real guts of all of these things. So some of the things we just are blown away about is the language.
The language, yeah.
The language The transition is all we're going to say.
Amazing.
But this is the most genius way we have ever seen of how to incorporate all languages and the culture, and to immediately stop the othering of anything. I don't know how else to describe it, because we don't script these conversations, we just talk. But how, again, in our Radio Fly episode conversation, we have an in-depth conversation about this amazing thing they do.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite character now? From the first episode, we can already see who favorite characters are going to be. You can pick them.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Ah Sahm, for starters.
Absolutely.
I mean, his attitude, he's just bringing something that is an essence of Bruce Lee.
Yep.
He brings it to the show so
without
well.
aping him, without mimicking him.
Yeah, he does it in his own way. Young Jun.
Young Jun, yeah.
He's already a favorite character in the first episode just by his interaction with
Yes,
Ah
with
Sahm.
Ah Sahm. Like, we think, oh my God, this guy's going to be just the son of the leader.
That's right,
and want
yeah.
to throw his weight around, but he is super cool.
Everything's a surprise.
This is the surprise. This is a story about women. The women in Warrior are next level strong, and they're vulnerable, but they're strong, and they've taken some real things, and we'll talk about that. My favorite character, Ah Toy, who is based on a real life person, and quite true up till a point, up till the other side of this. So there's some beautiful reveals in this episode about who everyone really is and how they interact, etc. But each one, each frame is eye candy. But that language thing, we would just, when we did see it and really sat down and watched this show through their eyes, not our conditioned eyes, it was like, we were like, whoa, everything. So Chow is amazing in this. I can't remember the actor's name, but he's a legendary, Asian American actor, and there's so many of them. Because one thing we do talk about in our conversation, and this is what they took, knowing that Bruce Lee would have wanted this, is it's very multicultural Asian. So even though it's all about Chinese, the main characters are all different origin Asian. So that's great. So Young Jun.
Young Jun. Ah Toy is another favorite one. Lee is a favorite.
But they're all good. You can't each character.
The setup of all the characters is incredible.
They're so fleshed out, and now we've seen why Ah Sahm. Ah Sahm is on a mission. We've seen an illustration. That's the first frame.
That's the first frame. Like it just fades into a picture.
Yes.
An illustration of a woman.
Oh, I love the tones as well in this. But it's all so wonderfully framed, and it just doesn't hold back in showing the white stream and how they think the English, how awful they are. And it does show all sides of awful. It shows everyone's awful sides and everyone's good sides. This show does have a lack of black and brown, but that's because this is a show about the Chinese American.
So I think the time it was set was after slavery was abolished, right?
Yes.
So the story of the black people had finished. And
Yes.
now it's about,
But they do feature later on.
Yes, absolutely.
In a
They are
very
black
genius
people.
way.
I know.
But this show but it's lovely to see Asians, and this language transition, which once you see it, and if you have seen it, you'll understand, it is absolutely amazing. So now one white character that we haven't talked about, and I think this is the character most representative of majority of the white people in this world.
Yeah.
Because he's not altogether bad, but he's just...
He is racist.
He's racist.
But he doesn't abuse that.
He doesn't discriminate in
That's
that
right,
way.
yeah.
So if someone he's racist again needs to be saved, he will save that
That's
person
right, yeah.
and go against a white person.
He's got principles. Yeah.
He's got weird principles. And he's Irish, and he's a tough guy, and he's supposed to be a good guy. He loves his wife. He tries to do the right thing, but he's just struggling. He's got weaknesses, vices, all sorts of things, gambling.
William O'Hara. Bill.
and that's what they call the cops, Bill.
Okay.
The English nickname for cops is Bill, the Bill.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
can't remember
There you
why, because I only know the Bill as being the Bledisloe Cup trophy because of William Bledisloe.
Right.
So that's Bill.
Okay.
But I have to do a deep dive onto why the Bill. But anyway, so this guy is very representative of whitestream population
him.
who are struggling.
Yeah.
I like him.
Because he's true to the character.
Yes.
He's not trying to be anything
No.
else.
And so, because not every single white person, but it's just that they're so conditioned to be white and just think that they're superior.
That's right.
They don't understand what racists they are. As I said earlier, it's not what they do, it's who they are. So but he's a very complicated character in that, oh, you're an asshole, but I like you. I want you to win. I want you to become a better person. That's why he gets paired with the best one.
Yeah. So Bill is going to start the Chinatown squad, right? Because there's been killings in Chinatown, and people have seen dead bodies. So the police department is.
But they've been told by the higher ups, because it's like, well, we can't be seen to having this because somebody's out there killing. It might be, but all the white people and the higher ups are saying, well, they're doing us a favor. That's how they're talking. So you see all the machinations. You see that the same people who brought these Chinese people in are now creating the fighting, and creating the problems between the Irish and the Chinese. So the Chinese are blaming. The Irish are blaming the Chinese instead of the powers up who are English.
That's right,
It's so complicated.
So something sneaky is happening.
Yes, so they all know that, but we see nothing is a secret from us, the viewer, but we're seeing, wow, how it happens, how that web, how the machinations of these people, how they work, how they keep everything connected. But anyway, so yeah, Bill. And as this episode goes on, we just get introduced. Of course, Chow is right at the start, and he's the one who takes Ah Sahm to the tongs, that Hopway. Yeah. And we see all of that, how that happens.
June.
And Father June
is the leader of the Hopway.
Yep.
He's an interesting character. I like him too.
Yes. So you know what we didn't like the first episode? Why I didn't is because it has no immediate bang impact until the end of it, and you go, holy cow, what was that?
Yeah, what did we just watch? I need to watch the second episode.
Yeah, okay, second episode. Let's see if I'm still interested. And then it was just hooked. Must talk about Leary. Wow. You know, I don't know. He's got this horrible, savage nobility.
Yes.
He's noble. He wants to help his people. And he's got some weird ideas of racism. He hates the Chinese, blames them for everything. And, you know, when we first see him in a courtroom, and Lee is here as well. So this is the two opposites.
So what happened previously was Lee caught these two guys hacking two Asians in an alleyway. So this is the trial for those two, and Lee is a witness.
Right.
And Leary is sitting in the back of the courtroom, and he's eyeing Lee.
This scene is so loaded. They were directed all so exceptionally because it's just brilliant how it shows. And the soundtrack for this is next level too. Plus the soundtrack for the actual scenes in it, just to really set a scene and a mood.
But what a character he is. I like him because of his principles.
Yes.
But he's not a good person.
Well, Hitler had morals too, apparently.
Oh,
you know, he was trying to save his people. Ugh. But so these people become very insular about what it's just fascinating. Yeah. It's just fascinating to see it. It makes you understand the world we live in and how it got there.
Yeah.
This show is understated. It is the best show no one seems to be watching.
It's amazing.
We watch it on binge in Australia, and it's an HBO now. It's gone to HBO for season 3, which will be out on June 29th, 2023. We cannot wait. Can hardly wait. Well, we have to wait, so we can hardly wait. We haven't even touched on Mai Ling and Sub-Zero.
Yeah. Leon. Sub-Zero.
But just an incredible cast.
I know.
Incredible cinematography, incredible story, incredible basis.
And like you said, strong woman characters. So this show, Mai Ling is another one.
Unbelievably strong women characters. I will have to dedicate an entire conversation to the women characters in Warrior, because they're just superb. All the characters are even the minor ones are fleshed out and have nuance and backstory, or not even backstory. Sometimes backstory is not necessary, but just this is
the best show I've ever seen.
The best show I have ever seen. It better than, say, Sense8. Oh, that was on Netflix, done by the Wachowski sisters, or just one of the Wachowskis. This is next level.
Yeah.
And this illustration shows it. Really, really shows the depth in Ah Sahm and this show. This is we cannot recommend it enough.
Go watch it.
Go watch it. Enjoy the illustration, and thank you for listening.